Hi, this is David Sumberg, Program Director at the Santa Fe Farmers Market Institute. Welcome to the Applying for the Healthy Soil Program video series, designed to help individual applicants apply for the New Mexico Healthy Soil Program, which is run by the New Mexico Department of Agriculture. We are creating a series of videos that you may watch at your own pace, each with a specific topic and associated task for you to complete at the end of each video, that we hope will help encourage more farmers, ranchers, and land stewards to apply for the program by separating the process into bite-sized chunks. In this video, titled Dream Big, Getting the Most Out of Your Conservation Plan, I'm going to give you some tips on preparing for the site visit with your NRCS agent and show you an example of how to work with the materials provided by the Healthy Soil Program. I hope by now you've already watched the previous video, downloading documents and contacting partners, and have your own checklist working and have already reached out to your NRCS office and sponsor. If not, please go do that video first. On your checklist, let's first click here to download Cropland template, or here to download the Rangeland template. If you have a question about which you need to do, please refer back to the Healthy Soil Program's website and the Frequently Asked Questions page. For Cropland, generally think fruits and vegetables, and for Rangeland, generally think ranching and open spaces. Please note that if you intend to do any bale grazing in your projects, you also need to file an additional form. Click here for that on your checklist. If you intend to do both Cropland and Rangeland, you must fill out both templates. Download the appropriate template, then print 2 copies, one for yourself to work on, the other for the conservation officer. Next, click on this link to take you to the NMDA's guidance document. Download and print this as well. You may also want to download and print this approved practices list that we've created. It lists the top 20 most applied for and approved activities of past Healthy Soil projects. And it includes some practices that are not on the Healthy Soil Program guidance document, such as biological inoculation. I also recommend, if you are able, going to Google Earth and printing a satellite map of the lands with the fields, pastures, and areas where you want to work. Download or screenshot that map and save it to your folder, and maybe print a copy to take it out with you. I personally find it easier to work on this when making plans than the soils map you'll create later, but it's an extra step that's not required. This is an example that we'll provide for you on the website of a project that we worked on a farm where we were able to label all the different pastures, mark them out. This gave us the size requirements and all kinds of good stuff that we carried through the entire process with us. The conservation template is the basis for your Healthy Soil Program application and budget. So it's important to have what you're wanting to accomplish written down and signed off by the NRCS agent. If it's not on here, it's not likely that you will get funded in the grant program for it. I'm going to show you a sample of how to work with the Cropland template. Note that the Rangeland works just the same. We will have an example of each of these uploaded onto our website that you may take a look at and walk through at your own leisure if they are helpful. On page 1, fill in your information here. List your fields or pastures here. This is why I like working with Google Earth, as it translates it right over. Next, write short statements about why you want to apply for the Healthy Soil Program. These are your goals over time. On the next pages, even though it says for the conservation planner, this is a good tool for you as well. At the top of page 2, outline how you currently work the land, and at the bottom, what issues you observe. No one knows the land better than you do. You don't have to be too detailed, but do be honest. This will help you communicate with the NRCS Conservation Planner. Next, take these papers out with the other guidance documents that you downloaded and printed and walk out onto the land. Think about what issues you're seeing and what you'd like to do about them. The issues are called resource concerns. What you'd like to do about them are called practices. Write down your issues, your concerns, in this space. Write down what you want to do about them, practices, in this space. If you have questions and you need help identifying what these things are, go to the planning template. This has a great list of all the different resource concerns you might be identifying, as well as practices. In this sample that I used, I downloaded and printed this, and I highlighted right on there You can see my yellow highlights of things I was seeing out on my land and what I might consider doing to help improve those. The guidance document also has this fantastic proven practice chart, which may help guide you and has some terrific language about how this impacts and what you might apply for spending for. And the approved practices list that I mentioned earlier has the top 5 approved practices with some additional language, as well as the top 20 over time. I also highlighted these sheets to help me continue filling out the conservation plan. Doing this may help you work with the conservation planner to ensure everything you'd like to work on is included on the plan. If you have questions or thoughts about any of it, mark it down some here on the template. I popped down a couple of ideas that I had of things that I might like to do over time, and I had some questions. For example, I wasn't quite sure how grazing or adding livestock to my fields might actually help improve my corn production. Your resource agent, these resource agents are phenomenal resources for us, and they have just incredible amounts of knowledge. So it's a good time to ask them a question when you're walking the fields. Doing this will also help you use the best language when you're ready to write your application and budget. The good people reading your application need to understand your story. So if you speak in their language, which is everything on these guides, they are more likely to understand you. At this point, you've walked the land, marked up all these guidance documents, and made some notes on your planning template. There is one more thing to do before the NRCS agent arrives. You need to create a soil map or an ecological site survey for the land. While this sounds very technical, there is a tool linked here on your checklist that will do most of the work for you. And Dean Bruce, co-lead for Healthy Soil Program, made a video walking you through how to do this, and it's posted on the Healthy Soil Program website, and there is a link to that here on your checklist. I'm not going to replicate that since Dean explains it very well. You're now well on your way to applying for the Healthy Soil Program. To review, your task today, right after this video ends, is to 1. Follow the links on the checklist to the Conservation Planning Template, the Healthy Soil Program Guidance Document, and the Approved Practices list. Go to Google Earth if you're able as well. Download and print these things, and then before the Conservation Planner arrives, fill out a copy of the Conservation Plan as I described and is outlined on your checklist, and then do your soil web survey work as explained in the video by Dean Bruce. Finally, be sure to check these things off on your personal checklist as you complete the tasks. If you can accomplish this work by the end of the year, you'll be in great shape when the application opens on January 15th. Stay tuned for the next segment of our series, Working on a Budget.